Hey, what's going on? It's Mario, Final Approach. Another podcast up. And what you are going to learn on this podcast is if you have anything on your bucket list and you want to travel and you want to go to Europe, you want to go to Iceland, you want to go to Sweden, you want to go to Finland, you want to go hunting somewhere in the UK, we have a couple guys on here that could give you some information on what you want to chase. If there's a bucket list bird, if there's something you want to do, we're going to talk about it. So this is going to be a pretty awesome podcast. And two really close friends of mine, I'm going to intro them in a second, and then we're going to get rolling. But as far as the FA podcast and the partners that we're happy and really glad that we work with on a regular basis, and that's the guys at Weatherby, Loopholes, Federal Ammunition, of course, Roger Sporting Goods, and of course, Tyler up in Saskew's company. And we're also going to talk about what these guys do and how we're connected and how this all goes. So to start us off, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves and the company they're at because they're going to give you the actual phonetic spelling or the pronunciation of each name because Juho's up in that corner over there and he's in Finland and he can tell you when we travel. I'm really good at pronouncing names.
Yeah, correct. Should I start or?
You start, and then we'll go down to the Viking.
All right.
Absolutely.
So I am representing a company called Kalusto. And we are mostly doing business around forestry and hunting and outdoor business. And we are part of a German family-owned company called Grube, and we work in, I think, 11 or 12 countries, mostly Eastern Europe. But Germany is the main warehouse, and like I said, I'm working in Finland and as a CEO here. And that's
you guys do, you guys have a lot of stuff and we can talk more about it, but you guys got really heavy in the archery. Because one thing to throw out is, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are the only country in Europe that has white-tailed deer, right?
correct. Correct.
So that's a huge thing. So people listen, deer hunting here, white-tailed deer hunting in the States is absolutely nuts, right? If somebody wanted to go, hey, I want to kill a white-tailed deer somewhere else, you don't want to go to Canada or you've been to Canada or you want to bucket list stuff. Maybe Finland's on your list. I don't know,
Yeah, whitetail is introduced here in 50s, I guess. They took 5 individuals from Minnesota. And the whole population, yeah, that's where they came. And now the population is around 120,000. So it's all out of that 5 individuals.
5 deer.
Yeah.
That's so cool. All right, let's come back to you. Let's go down to this guy over here.
Yeah, that would be me.
Oh, I see the beard.
Yeah.
The beard is new.
Yeah, the beard is new. I just found out that Santa Claus is a fake. So I just pulled the beard on one of those guys. I was sitting on his lap at the supermarket a couple of days ago. Well, a couple of months ago. So I just decided I'll just step in for that guy, and this is the real stuff. See, I'm pulling on it, and it's stuck to my face. So that's I'm solving problems every day. But those that don't know me, my name is Kjartan Lorange. I represent a company I'm the general manager for a company called Veidehuset Saka, which short translation is the hunting house or hunting cabin. So we distribute, we do a lot of strong US and European brands. We are just domestic, except I just started some exports to Greenland. So I am tapping into the King Eiders frenzy that is picking up in Greenland, where you two ding dongs were supposed to be last March, but you found a reason not to be there, so I had to shoot your birds too. Sorry about that. I'll keep rubbing that in.
Ding dongs were supposed to be in Canada this year. So
Yeah. Sorry about that. Well, it is. So so it's the domestic market only, and it's just hunting, shooting, fishing, a little bit in the outdoors.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my background.
Yeah, listen, and the cool thing is, so you and I met, like, so we'll go through this because this is pretty funny. You and I met at SHOT Show, which is like the shooting, hunting, outdoor trade show in, I think it was in Orlando, was the year that I worked for Buck Gardner, and I was there.
2009, Orlando.
And you came by and you're like, hey, can you think you could make us a gray lag goose call? And I was like, I've never heard one, but yeah, I bet you we can. And then we start talking, and you say, I'm from Iceland. And I say, now this was back when, Juho, I don't know if you were ever on these, but there used to be this thing called the Refuge Forum. And it was a website where you go with all these like chat rooms, right? Like this is old.
Yep.
You remember that or no?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, I kept seeing this video of this freaking guy in Iceland. You never saw him, but you would see he would shoot seals with the rifle, and his dog, his black lab, would go out and grab them by the freaking fin and retrieve them. And then all of a sudden I go, hey, do you know? And of course, his screen name at the time was the Arctic Coon Ass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I go, do you know this guy that shoots these seals and his freaking dog retrieves them? And he's like, oh yeah, that's me. And I'm like, oh my God. You want to talk about and then instantly right there we're out of hand talking about whatever. So that's how him and I start. So we start doing calls. Juho, I meet at Iwa, I think, the first year we went to Iwa, the trade show in Germany, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You were working for
I think it was
Vivian X, I guess.
Yeah. Because if you don't know, we'll give you a little education, but obviously it is not easy to get products into Europe as far as, who wants to deal with it, the pricing structure, who has the right items, who has good items. Like, it has always been a struggle. And I've always made a real conscious effort to really, really push over there, just because, like, honestly, I love dealing with all you guys. But the other thing is just like, it's terrible. I felt bad. Like, you guys can't get anything. Like, that was just terrible. So, and the stories that you guys would say about, dealing with this company or that company, it wasn't great, So it was always kind of a cool thing for me to work on. So that's the work stuff. So we'll get that out of the way. Let's talk about hunting. So, the Viking is who I call on the bottom because I can't pronounce his name. How many countries do you think you've waterfowl hunted? And then you start thinking about the same thing, because it's a lot. I think it's a lot, and different. The thing about it is different countries, just like different states here in the U.S. or going to Canada. Like, everybody has different rules. Like, I was just talking about somebody the other day, and they said, oh, something about whatever. And I said, oh, yeah, specs. You can't shoot the specs in Iceland. You can shoot everything else, because I was talking about all these seagulls kept coming over. And I shot the biggest seagull I've ever shot in my life in Iceland. And I said, I backed it right up with a giant raven. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, you could shoot those there. And I go, but you can't shoot specs. And they're like, why can't you shoot the specs? And I go, it's a European white front. It's different. The rules, same.
Well, in Iceland, and actually, it is actually a Greenland white front. It is not a European white front, which is the Eastern white front. So the Eastern white fronts,
right? They get in there, or no? Do you
guys get them?
Yeah, we get them, but we can't shoot them. But you can go take the ferry and yeah, or Estonia.
Yeah,
Don't
and shoot them
And
there.
yeah, it's like 60 kilometers from Helsinki, so you take a ferry and go over and shoot specs there.
I
Yeah,
gotcha.
but Mario, that's kind of like that's kind of like Mexico and pintails, and you're in Texas, you can shoot two pintails. You go to Mexico, you can shoot all the pintails.
Shoot
It's
every one of them. Yeah,
yeah,
because the amount of hunters there, because that's a funny stat that I always see, and people always like will say that, well, why can you go to Mexico and shoot 20 pintails? And it was something like there's more pintails shot the first there's more pintails shot opening day of California season than there all the whole year in Mexico.
yeah,
So it's like it doesn't even it's not even a dent, right? So you go down there and
nope,
shoot 20 because there's nobody really doing it. There's
Hmm.
not 100,000 guys going down there and ripping 20, right?
yeah,
So,
you're right.
so I, I've been to the UK, I've been to Iceland, I've been to Finland, I've been to Sweden, I've been to Germany, but I haven't hunted Germany, so that doesn't count. So I only got like four countries that I've waterfowl or bird hunted, let's say. So
Yeah, yeah.
what do you
Uh,
think? You've been
I'm
because I
I'm
know
I'm at
Yuho's
some
been to Greenland or Yuho's been to you've been everywhere. You've been fishing everywhere too. That doesn't count.
Yeah, that doesn't count, but I've been hunting as well, but not so much waterfowl.
Gotcha. Right. Right.
yeah. I
Okay,
think I
so
think
so let
I'm
me
at
ask
I think
go
I'm
ahead.
at something like 10 countries, but three continents:
Yeah, for
South
sure.
America, North America, and Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, I could say I only have two, so I'll say I only have two countries. I guess here's another thing, like let's go this route because this will be pretty cool. What would be your favorite waterfowl species to chase? And it could be anywhere. It could be even at home. You know what I mean? What do you think?
Common eider, hands down.
Hominida in Finland?
Well, in Finland or I haven't been hunting in Greenland, but
But that would be a bucket list one.
that's a bucket list, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Mm, I'm not I'm not sure. I'll just I'll just be I'll just be fair, and I'll just say I'll kill a mallard. I'll take a greenhead anywhere. I don't care.
Anywhere. Doesn't matter where.
Anywhere. No, it doesn't matter where. They just, hey, they are the king of ducks. The only place in the world where you will find a duck and you will find a mallard everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they're the king of ducks. Of course, I could be fancy and say I want to be on some big bay shooting divers, cans over on layouts or a
Right.
curtain blind. No green nets. Just give me green nets.
You know, out of all the things, that I've chased, uh, and I'm gonna cheat a little. There's two birds that I would put like up at the top for me. I think internationally, I think the coolest thing I've ever shot and chased was barnacle geese. And I shot some with you in Iceland, and I shot some with you in Sweden. And I think those to me are the coolest looking birds. They to me they act like snow geese. They are um, there's a lot of them. Like you and I were just talking a couple weeks ago, like the seasons and what's going on and the regulations, and it's just so out of whack. And there's so many. I don't even want to get into that because we'll be here talking that. But then I also want to cheat and say that if I could shoot a pintail here in Oregon, with a tail about 7 inches long, that's kind of hard to beat anywhere you go. You know what I mean? Because when we get them in January, it's pretty special. So,
Yeah, I could take that as well.
yeah, that's not too shabby, right? Listen, Yuho hunted the Columbia River with me when he was over. and he was like, why don't you guys just leave me here? He said, why don't you just
Yeah, take my phone and leave me.
I know, why don't you
Yeah,
just
it's a
leave
stunning
me on one of
place.
these islands? And I'm like, okay, what do I tell your wife and kids?
Yeah, it's definitely a stunning place. It's beautiful there.
Yeah.
It is, I could travel all over the world, right? And you've seen it down there firsthand. Um, the amount of like just scenery and different places and being in the boat, which is my favorite thing, like just all that combined, it's one of the coolest places for sure. So I was pretty thrilled you got to go, and that's something that the Viking has to experience when he comes over one of these times because I mean you can tell him it's like you can't even explain it because it's probably I would for sure say it is probably like nothing else you've ever done.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
can I can imagine.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
So,
cool place with all the channels and titles and everything. So it's a different kind of hunting that we do here. So,
well, and you don't
Hmm.
know what you're going to shoot down there. You know what I mean? You literally don't know what birds you're going to see. So, and it's mostly ducks. There are some geese down there, but it is just absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Hey, so let's go here. This will be a cool little thing. So, if if you wanted to pick a place to hunt, maybe for scenery, maybe for something, maybe for how hard it is to figure out, like whatever, like is somebody said, "Hey, it's the last weekend you can go hunting in your life." Where would you go?
Eisenberg Lagoon,
Where's that?
Alaska.
Why?
Look, you've got everything there. You've got Brandt, you've got Eiders, you've got Harleys, you have the whole variety of Alaskan stuff. So it's yeah, without a doubt, it is. I think it is the. Let me see. It is in Alaska. It is, I think, the largest national national wildlife refuge there.
I don't think I've ever even, I don't want to say I've never heard of that, but I've never heard anybody say that's where I want to go.
No, but it's uh, I associate with a lot of influential people, bad bad companies like Pat Pitt and these. But Pat's told me stories about Eisenberg Lagoon that just it amazes me. So
Stick with
it's
it.
like yeah, it is a bucket list thing. You're gonna see emperor geese there. I don't have to shoot an emperor goose. They're not on the rebound. They're actually on a downward spiral,
Oh,
like so many
gotcha.
things in the Arctic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would. If someone told me this is your last weekend, you're gonna hunt. So yeah, Eisenberg Lagoon.
Okay. Hugo, what do you think?
uh, Baltic Sea,
Oh,
outer archipelago, Common Eider. That's that's the place to be.
Baltic Sea. Wow. Yeah, holy crap. And what do they got there? Everything? I mean, I know the eiders are there, but
Yeah, well, you have hunted in
that
coastline of
section
Baltic Sea.
for sure.
Yeah, and that was pretty beautiful scenery in Öland, and yeah,
Oh
but
my God.
going way out there, the outer rocks to hunt
Oh yeah.
common eiders, and that's the place to be. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, I mean the thing that blew me away about being there on that, you know, piece of water and that continent and that country, that place, that everything is when we were in Sweden is the amount of black brant that were traveling the coastline there, coming up past us, going up, and then we went up to that refuge and they were up there. Like I could not believe, because I just don't get to see that many, or never in my life have I seen that many being out. And you can't shoot them there as well.
No, that's protected. Yeah.
So yeah, that place was pretty stunning. I mean, we were shooting freaking Eurasian Wigeon on the Baltic Sea in Sweden on this coastline, and everybody was having a blast. That was pretty epic. You know, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know where I would pick. I am partial to the Columbia River. That is one of the coolest places I think I've ever hunted. Even all the places in Europe and everywhere else, the Baltic Sea was pretty cool. Going to Saskatchewan, there's a couple birds up there. You guys,
There's a few birds up there.
you guys both have witnessed Tyler Mann's operation, Saskatchewan Goose Company up there, and I mean that day we shot in the fog up there when we buried the blind in all the hay bales and it was foggy. That was pretty epic.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, that's a day to remember. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I
But
mean,
there is a reason it's called the land of the living skies.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we had like 8 shooters or 9 shooters, but we were. I mean, I believe we shot all our geese for sure, and then I think we were close on ducks or whatever. I mean, it was a true epic morning of shooting whatever 100 and almost 150 birds or whatever it was
Yeah,
absolutely insane. Yeah,
it
there's
was a lot of fun.
oh my God, yeah, and they were just
Yeah,
popping out of the fog right on
you
us.
could hear them, but you couldn't see them. And suddenly you couldn't hear them, and you could just see them, and they're just sitting in your face.
Yeah, we got to do that again.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll do it again. Make sure, you all, that you don't sit next to me, so you won't have any more gun problems.
he's always sneaky doing something, or else he'll just jump up faster than you and get him. He's pretty quick. I tell people like, you don't want to sit by the Viking. He is a trained killer. You do not want to sit by him if you enjoy the birds coming in and watching them, right? If you want to see them work in and get closer and closer, that's
Nope.
not the guy to sit by, because the minute
Yeah.
that we say we're gonna go, he's already shot 2 or more.
Or more, or more. I've been trained by a 77-year-old guy down in Arkansas, and he said so many times to me, "Hey, Fred, did you come here to watch birds or kill them?"
Well, well, that was last year when I was there, and I was
Yeah.
like,
He's like he's 16.
Juho, literally, we're in this pit, and it's just the 3 of us the one day. They were they were they were on shell 2 going on shell 3, and I am just taking the safety off. Um, and I was like, this is like you said, Pat's what, 77, like you said. So Pat's sitting there, then the Viking, and then me. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna shoot yet today. Like, I don't know if it's gonna happen. They were like 18-year-olds who you just gave them like a free case of shells and said,
Go wild, boys.
don't come back with any, right? Shoot at everything and empty the gun.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, but you're meant, when you're there, you're supposed to shoot them.
You're supposed to take it all in, for sure.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
Taking it to the
Yeah,
book
well,
since 1992.
yeah. What's the point bringing a shotgun then?
Yeah,
You don't
you're
want to take
supposed to
any
be
shells
carrying
home.
birds, not shells.
Is there let's do this. Is there something on your bucket list that you haven't checked off, let's say, or something you have checked off and you feel like you have to go do it again? You know what I mean? Because like I always talk to guys and they're like, oh, hey, I saw the video and you guys are in Iceland and I saw this and I saw when you were in the Baltic Sea and they would talk about all this and I'm like, yeah. So then they start talking about like where would you go? And there's so many cool places and so many cool birds. Like I don't know. I'm like stunned, I think sometimes. But I don't know if there's something you guys have done, want to do. Anything come to mind?
Yeah, without a doubt.
What is it?
I want. I've I want to kill sandhill cranes.
Gotcha. Well,
It's
that's a
they've been
Canada.
on my list. They've been on
That's
my list for a long time, but I'm pretty sure that when I've already shot two, then I'm like, oh, that's all the glory. But they are on my list.
Yeah, that's a Canada thing, early September,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
that's a like Texas, Oklahoma thing, like later.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
December.
Yeah. I mean and listen, when you're hunting that bird, it's a dinosaur. You're hunting a dinosaur.
A living dinosaur. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because that's how far back you can trace that. The eyesight, its hearing, you know, like listen to this. There's a guy, they told me a story. I think this was we were in Oklahoma or something. There's a guy, there's an outfitter who's so obsessed with them, he will not let you go behind the blind and take a piss because he says the birds can see the ultraviolet in your urine. I'm
Okay.
just I'm
I,
just passing on a story.
I
Don't
know,
know
I know, and
don't
I'm not
never
gonna
hunted
doubt
with
it.
the guy, don't know anything about it, but he's
Nope.
that obsessed. He goes to that amount of length to make sure they kill
Yeah.
him.
So his middle name is probably pterodactyl.
For sure, for sure. I
No,
mean,
I,
it's
I,
it's an unreal bird.
yeah. Look at those
He's
big eyes.
oh, they're like they're like nickels or dimes. Like they are
Yeah,
huge and they
yeah.
are fierce. The thing that I can say about them, other than their eyesight, is the most keen eyesight I've ever witnessed in my life, right? And
Yeah.
everybody talks about that. But I'm talking about something that is totally different. And I think this goes back to prehistoric days. And this is no bullshit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Their will to live after you jump up and guys start shooting some, and if you don't head shoot them, and I mean head shoot them and I mean pound them, right?
Hmm.
They go down, they will fight you or the dog in hand-to-hand combat for as long as it takes. They do not want to die. I don't
No,
think
they
I've
don't give up.
ever I don't think ever seen a I've never seen a bird do something like that. You could talk about, hey, oh, I wrung this neck on this goose and it just won't die. Those they keep flopping or they're limp or whatever. If it was a crane, it would try to kill you.
Yeah.
There, it's a
Take
different.
your eyes out.
It is a different mindset for them. That's why I said, like, I don't think I've ever seen a bird. Like, you could talk about, like, say, maybe a bear or a moose or something, you shoot it a couple times and it's trudging through the woods and you can't, it just keeps going, right? Until all the blood pumps out. I'm telling you, that's the only bird I've ever seen that would do that. It's
Yeah.
insane. It's insane. So, okay, so sandhills are on your list.
Yeah.
What do you got? What are you thinking of?
King Eider,
King Eider.
uh, Greenland or Alaska.
Mm.
I don't know which one, but
I don't know.
I like the Arctic nature, so that's
For
where I
sure.
want to
You
go.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that. I know that. I don't honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know what I would pick. I've been to some cool places, really cool places. Chased some really
Greenland
cool
is
birds. Huh?
Greenland is a magical place.
Is it? Well,
Yeah.
talk about that. Like somebody who hasn't been there. Like I've never been there. Explain it. Why is it so
It's
cool?
well, it's just they are the friendliest and most helpful of people that you'll ever meet. It's just they do everything that they can to make sure that you enjoy, that you're their guest. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you want to go there and hunt ptarmigan, or you want to go there and just go snowshoeing, or whatever it is, whatever, they just they make sure that you enjoy everything to the fullest. And
Yeah.
they are very their hospitality compares to the South. It's just hospitality in its finest form, and it is such a humongous place. It is
Yeah.
everything there is big. The mountains, they're big, they're steep.
Yeah.
The icebergs, they're just huge. Those fjords, they go on for tens of miles and miles and miles, and you are literally at the mercy of your equipment not screwing up. Because
Right.
yeah,
Right.
if you yeah, and you don't do this solo. You just don't go there and talk to
No.
Johnny on the docks and say, "Hey, can you take me out on your dinghy and we'll shoot some eiders?" No, it doesn't work like that, because Johnny,
No.
first of all, he wouldn't do it, because he respects you, and that you're visiting them. So the outfitters there today, they're doing this. They're doing this very, very well. They have a very strong population of King Eiders.
Yeah.
They're doing their best to manage it in
Yeah.
a sensible manner. There's no sense in someone going there shooting 50 kings.
Yeah.
They
There's no
they
need.
don't they've already set some standards and limits on that, and some of them
Well,
are
you're going.
just
Yeah. You're
voluntary
going to get a
restraint.
trophy. You're going to get a trophy. It's not a. You're
Yeah,
not piling numbers there. You're
yeah,
going to get your bird, right?
yeah,
Or a pair to mount. I mean, you're going for a reason, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's cold there out on the water. Some of it is drift shooting. Some of it is pass shooting. Some of it is done over long lines out of islands. But
Well, and it's
there's
dangerous. It's dangerous, right?
it is,
Like
it
your
is,
gear
and
fails, the boat motor, like like we talk about Alaska and going up for, Eiders or whatever up there, and they talk about like doing that when it's like awful and the weather and can you even get out to go, that's what that's like, right?
yeah, the Arctic isn't a playground.
No, no, no.
So it's beautiful country. It's got so many contrasts, and it's teeming with wildlife. You see reindeer,
Yeah.
you see all these seabirds, these little auks, these short-billed auks, the razorbills, all the seagulls that they have there. It's just it looks like a desolate place from afar, but as soon as you step on it and you start traveling around there, it's just teeming with wildlife, and it's clean, it's pristine. No one's come in there, except
Really
for
good.
just modern development, but no one's come in there and raped and plundered nature over there. So it's still clean and pristine, and it is enjoyable. You can enjoy it without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you thinking? You're all about that? You're all about
Yeah,
Greenland?
yeah, I'm all about that, sure. And well, like I said, Alaska is another option I want to see
The same
someday.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
Yeah.
But been traveling a lot to Norway and northern Finland and northern Russia. So there's some similarities on those countries,
Yeah.
and that's my place to be. Few people, because I'm not a fan of people, like all Finns.
Yes, where's the least amount of people and more
Yeah.
animals, more critters than people. Yes.
Yeah.
The older I get, and the same with the Viking, we have our people, and then it stops right about there. And
Yeah.
it's like
I
two
don't
or
need any
three.
more friends.
No.
Yeah, I have enough as well.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always joke here, um, and people think I'm joking, and I'm not joking. And they're like, "Oh, like you want to have some like say like not my wife, but like she already knows, but it's like, hey, do you want to have any friends over?" And I'm like, I don't have any friends here. Like I have like James, my buddy who lives here, who I'm close with, and then another young kid, Kevin. You've met him, Viking, right? So
Hmm.
okay, so there's two, and I have a ton of like acquaintances or people like all that, like huge. Like Don Guthrie's a very close friend of mine. He's older. Like yes, like Don's almost family. Like so is James, right? But then it's like, where's all your friends? My friends live in different countries. My
Yeah.
friends, like I would say my friend Brad lives in Alberta. My friend Tyler lives in Glassland. My friend the Viking lives in Iceland. My friend Juho lives in Finland. Like they're like there's
Yeah.
four.
Your friend
My
Raymond
friends
lives in
live in
China.
different countries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it's because they
Yeah.
can't take me 365 days a year.
Yeah. I think I think I think it was I'm not sure, but I think if I'm remembering this correctly, then I think I saw Pat in a t-shirt that said, "I'm not a people person, and I don't like people or persons."
Well, the one that
So
they
leave me alone.
the one that
No,
they
but
sell.
that's yeah. Well, that's not it. I don't think it's the fact that we don't like people. We are
Love
surrounded by
people.
people that we wouldn't surround ourselves with if we wouldn't
For
have
sure.
to. So that
For
being
sure.
said, we like solitude.
Yeah, I mean, the shirt over
Correct.
here they sell the shit out of it says, I like coffee and like two people.
One of
So
them is the guy that makes the coffee for me.
so that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
You
It
know,
is. And yeah,
here's something I'll throw at you that neither of you guys have said. And when I don't know what's you said when I'm in Greenland and I see the mountains, and then all of a sudden my head went light bulb, and I went, oh my God, I totally forgot about this. How did I forget about this? Uh, New Zealand is, I would have to put that very high on the list. And reason being is they have a paradise duck down there, which is
mm,
really like a goose. It feeds like a goose. It acts like a goose. It's almost as big as a goose. It's all its patterns, its feeding, what it does. Um, it is an unbelievable bird. And I've been down
yeah,
there. I've been lucky enough to go down there twice. And Connor, this kid Connor Carlisle, who has a guide service down there, he does fishing, Yuho, which you should 100% do that. And he does waterfowl, and they do wallabies and red stag, red deer, and all that. Like he does it all. He was just out here. I didn't even think about that. Like that place to me is like you talk about. The water is as clear and pristine in every stream, every river, every lake that you swear you could put your hand, you just put your whole arm right to the bottom. And it's 200 feet deep, and you're like, oh, I can reach the bottom, and it's not.
yeah.
You know what I mean? The fishing there, the people are just incredibly nice. And
Hmm.
the hunting, they are on the true honor system. And what I mean by that is, they have certain places have limits, but, and regulations and stuff like that. But the way they operate is I shot a deer, we ate the deer, we ate the whole deer, right? Not just the good parts, right? We ate the whole deer.
Yep.
And Took us whatever 2 months to eat the whole deer. Now we'll go shoot another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they
Hmm.
are on that program. That's why it isn't all screwed up because they don't go out and shoot 20 deer and fill the freezer and then the meat goes bad and then they throw it out. Like literally, they are doing it the right way.
Yeah.
So
It's
I would say that place would be something that I think you guys would, the scenery, I think would blow your minds.
mhm.
Um,
I'm sure it
and I know
is.
you've seen incredible places, right? So I think you would just go, this is unreal because the mountains there where they have like tar and chamois and they're you're taking a helicopter up to like base camp and then you're going up from there. Like
Mm.
I'm not doing it. I've never done it, but I'm like, oh my God, like the mountains there are for real. Like maybe
Yeah.
something like you talk about like Russia or some of those places over there that have, these sheep and these Kazakhstan, something like that. Like that's what I think of
Yeah.
when I think of
Yeah.
like tar and chamois and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hmm.
There are unique places like that pretty much everywhere in the world, and I think New Zealand is very pristine and pure. And I also think that some of the remote areas of Russia are very pristine and very undamaged from human interference, like the northwest part of Lake Baikal. It's probably an amazing place, but unfortunately today there's no chance for us,
I know.
even how close it is, to go there, and probably won't be for the next, I'm sure, 10, 15 years or whatever it is. I hope it's going to be sooner because I really want to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think also that it will take decades before we go there, before everything
You
is
think so?
normalized. Yeah, I think so, definitely.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I've been traveling there for like 20 years.
yeah.
I worked there for a couple of seasons as a fly fishing guide in a salmon river,
Yeah.
and I was in Kola Peninsula, and that's like you said, pristine, remote, because that's all helicopter program.
Hmm.
Absolutely beautiful and
Yeah.
untouched nature,
Yeah.
and I'm that's what I'm pity because we can't go there. That's
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a
pretty
shame.
sad thing, for the whole
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you never know. You never know.
Is
Correct.
there, um, is there
Where's
a,
your Mario?
go ahead.
It's time for us to ask the questions. Where do
Oh
you
yeah,
want to
go
go,
for it. Go
and
for it.
where do you want to go that you have, like you said, either have been to and have to do it again, or it's just stuck in your head?
I think New Zealand's on that list,
Hmm.
because of you know, because of the people,
Yeah.
and then like I said, they got some cool, they have like so they have a spoonbill down there, right?
Yeah.
Um, but it looks like a spoonbill, a Drake spoonbill met a female uh uh blue-winged teal out at a bar and then they had a kid.
Yeah.
It's got like a blue-winged teal head, but it's a spoonbill, it's a shoveler bill, it's smaller. I mean, it looks exactly like you took those two birds, and
And
I
just
didn't trace it back, and literally just put them together because you're like, because the distinctions are so like the blue and teal head, right? That's it. But then the bill's the shoveler, and then it's kind of in between a shoveler and a blue and teal body, and then the wing patch, and you're like, what? And we shot one of them when I was down there. They're not super rare. I didn't shoot one, but our
hmm
group did, and it is like the coolest, slickest bird. Um, but then they just got like crazy. They have this thing down there called a spur wing, which is a white bird, and it literally if birds put their wings all the way out, like say their elbow, right? There
Yeah.
is this freaking hook. I mean, I bet you it's a half an inch long, this spike on their
Like the
wing
African spur-winged goose.
that would just just yeah, like insane.
Yeah.
So that has a lot of draw for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Just
I would
weird
come
stuff.
back I would come back to Iceland in a second. I would go back
Mm.
to Sweden or Finland in a second. You know, like my top five, like I'll just give you my top five, not in an order. Here
Yeah.
on the river, Saskatchewan, Iceland, Finland, Sweden, New Zealand. There's six, like whatever. And I would
Yeah.
throw, Alberta's no slouch. Like, don't get me wrong. My God, Brad and I have had some bangers over there, and just the people and everything else.
Yeah.
So those are the places where you know, I would keep on my list. There isn't anything that's like nagging at me, right? That I have to go do. You know what I mean? Like
No.
there's a couple things that I would like non-waterfowl related, right?
Hmm.
I've never killed a bobcat, right? I want to kill a bobcat and I don't want to just go shoot one, right? I don't want to do that. Like if I just see one, I
Yeah.
have so much respect for that animal. Like if I see one, I'm not shooting it, right? Because I want to go and I want to call him in and I want it to come in because all the stories I hear, like I'd go coyote, we go to Texas, we go here, we go there. Like, what about a bobcat? Like what do they do? It's like everybody's like sitting there, you have the electronic collar going, right? And it's going and going, and it's like you just sit there real quietly and you're looking left and right, and you're just scanning, right? The bushes. And then it's like all the guys say, all of a sudden you're scanning the bushes and you went through it like 10 times and then you come back and he's sitting right there.
Yeah.
And you're like, and he never made a sound, never, and you're like, holy, he's right there. And it's like, that's the thing I want to experience. And I haven't done that yet. So that to me would be, you know what I mean, would be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, just because you went predator hunting, you took the subject there. How much do you think that thermals are going to change that game? I know it's changed it immensely already, and I have well, I'm actually the Knockpix distributor here in Iceland. So
Right.
you
Well,
know,
and I know they use thermals for the raccoon dogs because there is so many. So here's I guess where I would go with that. On like we were in the UK and I know you were there, right? So they could use thermal on deer, right? Not
yeah,
necessarily at night, but you could use it during the day, right? Because we're walking through this field when I was over with Colin and we're in the UK and we're just like kind of bumping through and he's like, "Hold on, there's a couple deer right there." And I go, "I'm like, where?" And he goes, "Look over on that corner." And I go, "Okay, where?" And he goes, "Here, take the thermal and look." And it's like, there they are. And I go, "Holy shit, that's not fair, right? That I don't think is fair." But when you talk about like the predators and predator management, I still think there's not enough people managing the predators that we would ever run out of predators here. And I know in other
yeah,
countries it's the same way. So I think it's a good thing. Maybe more people would get involved in it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, you know, here's a Delta waterfowl thing that'll blow your mind. They're getting like more and more numbers, statistics, and all this other stuff. Yuho, your head's gonna explode because you're a research guy. So Delta waterfowl is saying that 91% of duck mortality happens from April to July.
yeah,
So we've been told ever since we were kids that don't shoot over your limit, don't shoot the hens, don't do this, don't do that, like you don't need to kill them all. And now it's coming back that it's saying, and I'm not saying don't do those things. I'm definitely not off that, right? I'm definitely not saying don't. I'm just saying that they're saying that 9% and even less than that because there's also mortality during, hunting season. So we're in that 9%. So then I go back to it's habitat, of course, right? But then
Yeah.
it is predator management and predators. And that
Yeah.
goes, whether you're in Oregon and there's local ducks, or you're going to Canada or Alaska or Russia or Finland or wherever, that is what we are dealing with. And I only think that the thermals would make it more fun and more effective.
Effective. Yeah. And invasive species, you were missing one thing on that list. We need to get invasive species. I don't care, we can't fight plants with thermals, but invasive
Yeah.
species when it comes to like 1937, a bad decision was made in Iceland to import mink.
And
Yeah, we have the same problem. We have the mink and we have the raccoon dog, and we have programs here at the moment, government-funded programs. Guys get paid to kill raccoon dogs, and what we
Yeah.
use is a thermal monoculars. We drive around, during autumn when they are on the fields.
Yeah.
I mean, raccoon dogs driving around, looking with thermals, and just throw a pointer out from the car.
Yeah, I mean,
And
if you've never seen a raccoon dog, like, and you're listening to this or watching this, like on YouTube, we put it up on YouTube and then put the podcast, just in all the podcast places.
It's not a raccoon and it's not a dog.
If you've never seen one, go Google it, because it is the wildest looking animal you've ever seen. And the thing about it, and Juho tells me all the time, they're, and I saw them when I was over, like we saw them on the thermal. They're increasing. They're everywhere, and they're spreading to every country, and
Yeah.
it is a problem for sure.
And they're nuclear war resistant. They can't kill them.
So it's gonna be the taxman, raccoon dogs, and cockroaches.
Correct. And they are in such a hard places, living. Like in marshes that you can't get those with the dog. So we use thermal drones to see where they are and try to hunt them with the dogs, but just can't reach them from there.
Well,
yeah.
And it's like you don't have enough time in every day to go chase them, right?
No.
Like, because you like doing other stuff just like us, right? So that's the thing on the predators, right? Because everybody says, like, hey, in the off season, like, what do you do? Like, I'm shooting coyotes. We don't have any foxes here. And if we do, I don't even know if we do. It would be way east if we even have any. I don't think we have any. But we have coyotes. We have mountain lions. Coyotes you can shoot all year. Mountain lions, there's a season. But the crows is a whole other. Everybody thinks like, oh, predators, we have to target coyotes, foxes, mink, raccoon dogs, everything with four legs. And it's like you're missing the biggest thieves of the nest world, and it's a crow and a raven.
Yeah. You're missing wild boar. The Texas generated game farm wild boar that has spread through the South to pretty much every state in the U.S. They interbreeded with domestic pigs, so the fertility rate was tenfold of what it was supposed to be on a normal wild boar. So it is a super pig, to be honest, and
Right.
They wreak havoc on everything that nests or breeds or raises young on the ground. I saw a video a couple of years back of wild boar with their piglets feeding on a live whitetail fawn. And I take my hat off to the guy that had the nerves just to sit and film it, just to.
I couldn't do that.
I couldn't do it. I would run off the road and just start driving.
I'd shoot them.
Yeah,
right, for sure.
Yeah. So they wreak havoc on it, but I guess we all have the problems. But ravens, crows, seagulls. Those are nest and duckling robbing bastards that need to be killed, and a lot of them.
Yeah, everybody like jokes and laughs at me like why I want to kill every one I see. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't think you get it. First of all, I like doing it, right? I
yeah.
love doing it. Like they're very smart birds. You don't just go out and shoot a pile, right? They're super smart. You got to
Hmm.
fool them. So that's a challenge to me. And I know what I'm doing. Like every one of those I take out, puts more, and it could be anything. Listen,
I know.
it could be songbirds. It could be it could be shorebirds, songbirds. It could be anything. You know what I mean?
Rabbits.
Yeah, anything, anything. You know, when you said the pig thing, the first thing I thought of was when we went down to Texas when I went down with Sheldon that year, and we took a bunch of guys to go whitetail hunting, and me and Brad went fox hunting. And it was later in the year, it was like November, middle of November, and I'm always worried about snakes because I hate snakes. And then
Good to know.
shut up. And then because up next I'll have a rubber snake in my boot. That's next. So Sheldon said, listen to this shit. Sheldon said the rattlesnakes are starting to not rattle because the pigs can find them because when the rattlesnakes are feeling the vibration on the ground that something is coming close, they
Yeah,
rattle, right?
yeah,
Well, he said they're starting to not rattle because the pigs find them, stomp them, and then eat them. And
yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, can you give me a worse scenario than a rattlesnake not rattling and I see it or I get bit? Like that is I would rather
S-
fight a polar
silent
bear.
death.
I would rather fight a polar bear in the Arctic in my underwear than get bit by a snake and be, you know
You
what I
all,
mean?
we
Like,
need to take him over there.
Oh, definitely.
you're not here for the hunting, bud, are you? So, so
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
told
So
me that, that's changed nature, that
at
animal.
what point in time are they
Mhm.
just going to drop the rattle? It's just going to evolve off their tail.
So that kind of stuff, like us as sportsmen and us as conservationists and everything that we do, right? That's a part of it, right? Like so, you know, I don't know. Guys always like, well, what do you do in the off season? I'm like, that's exactly what I do. Like whatever's open, like the bad part for us here in Oregon, like crow season stops at the end of duck season, which sucks for me
Yeah.
because if it went a little bit longer, I would have way more time to do that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, a lot of states have it, and I'm like, man, you need to take advantage of that and just absolutely rip them. Same with any of the other ones we're talking about. So
Hmm.
you got to do your part for sure. God, what other
Yeah.
questions? You got any questions? Nobody's ever asking me questions. I like that. I'm here for that. I'm here for that.
That was too quick. I don't have
Okay,
anything
well
in
then
mind at the moment.
here's one. Is there another animal, and it could be fish? Is there something else that you haven't done that you want to go do just as a general sportsman question? You know what I mean? Like I threw out,
Walrus.
like, I want to go somewhere and shoot a bobcat. Like that's inevitable. The only other thing I'd like to do, same along the same lines, is a wolf somewhere, right? I don't want to just
Yeah.
see one. I don't want to just see one. Like I want to have the whole thing, right? Do I want to go shoot a moose? Like, do I want to shoot, like no. But like you get to that predator, like that apex, that thinking, that smart, that, you know, bobcat, wolf, like that cat side, I'm in.
Yeah.
So what else? What can you think of that you're missing?
I want to spear a walrus.
In Alaska or
I
where?
don't
Where
care.
can you do that?
Uh, I can spear them. I can
Spear a
spear them
walrus.
in Greenland.
Would you be wearing like muckluck boots and your Speedo and then just a raccoon hat?
Yeah, and just my
I knew it.
FA ball cap, and I'm good.
I knew it. I knew it.
I'm not here for the hunting, right?
Hey, I don't think you're here for the hunting there, son.
No, it's just
Because
I've I've shot
I know
I've
you love
shot so
chasing
many seals.
ptarmigan. You know, I know
Yeah,
you love doing ptarmigan. That's like your other love. Like I know you love that. But a
yeah,
walrus, that would be, I mean, that wasn't even on my radar, but that sounds like crazy. Like I would be down for going. I don't know if I need to do that, but I would be down for seeing that.
yeah. And I'll be honest. I don't have to spear it. I could shoot it or just be able to participate on a group hunt where they are subsistence hunting. So yeah,
Yeah,
and
well,
I have an open invite.
and when you're killing something like that, like you're using everything on that animal. That's the other thing that
Yeah,
a
of
lot of
course,
people don't understand. Like we're not just gonna kill it and then it's gonna float away or whatever. Like, yeah. What are you
for
thinking,
sure.
Yuho? Yuho's in deep thought over there. Look at him. He's like,
Yeah, we're not in a fishing podcast now, so I'm not gonna go talk about fish.
you can go
But
to fishing. Like, what are you missing? Like, because I know you love fishing. Like, I do know that.
well, of course, big giant trevallies, but
Yeah.
I'd say a good mounter of a pintail
Hmm.
that that I want on my wall.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you have about a month to get your shit together. So how's that?
Yep.
About about the last 2 to 3 weeks of January here, I can
Yeah.
guarantee you that. And now this year we can shoot three. So and there's not many things I can guarantee, but if you were here for whatever many days, I can guarantee you that we would get it done. You
Because
know,
our pintails are never ready before they leave.
right? Yeah.
When when do they leave? In December,
September,
September? Oh,
September.
they leave that early. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So they
We
don't
they're
can't
even
early
shoot them.
grow.
migrators here.
Like they're not even growing anything. You're getting nothing.
No,
No
no,
color even probably.
no. They don't even have the white on their neck or
Right.
anything. So it's it's pretty much same with the Eurasian Wigeons. So they're
They're
not
brown.
ready.
Yeah.
They're pretty, yeah,
Yeah, that's
but
exciting.
they might migrate a little later. So at the end of the season, they're almost ready, but not mounters.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
that's awesome.
Well, yeah, we can't shoot pintails here anymore.
Right.
I think it's about 15 years since they pulled them off the list. But we've got a very small population. But then it's that border thing again. They migrate over to the UK on the wintering grounds, and then
Right.
they get shot. And I don't care. I I don't want them not to shoot them.
Right.
It's just one of those. It's one of those boundary things that you can't control.
And yeah,
And
and regulations, right?
that being said,
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do nothing about it. Yeah.
no, no,
No.
without a doubt.
That's awesome. Awesome stuff. Um, I mean, this has been like, I mean, we've already burned an hour, but we could talk for hours. I mean, we
Oh yeah,
covered some pretty cool stuff. So if people are listening to this, like, this is as cool of a podcast as you could get, like, because there's, hey, we're just doing a podcast to do a podcast, like, it's pretty cool stuff. So
yeah, I
I
agree.
guess we'll have to do a fishing one at some point in the summer. Maybe we talk fishing. I know you'd be up for that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
couldn't believe when I was in Iceland, you know, the Vikings telling me about, what guys are paying to go fishing over there for a day or something on the river. And I'm like, holy crap.
yeah.
Thousands of
It's
dollars for one day in one section. Like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Absolutely
and
nuts.
and it's all turned into catch and release. So it's angling. It's not fishing, because fishing is when you're catching something to bring it
Yep.
ashore and you're going to eat it. But
Right.
this is just angling. And here's the deal. The population of North Atlantic salmon is declining, and it's declining fast enough that they know that, we've already fucked up to the point that they won't make a comeback. So they're trying to keep they're trying to keep it alive as long as they can. So it's all catch and release. They've exploded the prices, so it's just high rollers that come on their private jets and they fish those rivers. And here is the deal. If a species is at such a steady decline as the North Atlantic salmon is, and there's no debate on that, leave it alone.
Right. Why even catch it at all? Just leave it.
Yeah, just leave it alone. Show that animal the ultimate respect of just leaving it alone. Take care of its ecosystem. Make sure that it has what it needs. Make sure the rivers don't get polluted. Make sure there's no encroachment of industry or fertilizer or whatever it is. Leave it alone. But this is narcissism in its finest form, because there's so much money involved. They'll just go, oh, we're spending all this money on, we are relocating hens and males to areas that haven't had them before. Well, if they didn't have them before, there's a reason for it. Nature doesn't fuck around.
She takes care of what needs to get taken.
There's a reason why some rivers didn't have a population. They couldn't sustain itself. So with all this being said, then fishing has turned into, in my opinion, a clown show. And guess what? It's not my clowns and it's not my circus. So
it's not going to end well.
No, it's not.
But it's all over the world, the same thing, because all the fish populations are going down, so everything is expensive. But at the same time, I'd say that conservation point of view, it's better to have money involved in that, so we can protect the rivers from poaching and everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna agree with you, Juho, and that's fine. We can have the separate outlook on that. But my opinion is that if each individual of one species has become so valuable for the continuance of that species, then the risk factor of having a novice fisherman fight a big fish for a long time, half killing it on the fight, then spending another 10 minutes while they're taking all these glory shots and selfies and shit with the fish that's already struggling to stay alive, then releasing it to the river, where you're going to increase the mortality rate of that fish by 300% just on that first catch.
But at the same time, we're still commercial fishing it. So
and I was just going to say, you have the recreational, and then everybody in the boat's just freaking pulling nets in, and there's thousands, right? So
yes,
for sure,
there's
and there's never going to be that many regulations there, because just what the VIKING said, what does it all come down to? It comes down to money, right?
Yeah,
corporations, and
it's always money.
It's not a good look. It's not a good thing for sure.
No.
Awesome. Well, listen, let's do this. Listen, if you guys are listening to this and you're in any other countries, and you're ever looking for any products, you can go to the FA website and look at all our international partners and our distributors in Finland and Iceland and all the other countries that we have, and you can check these guys out if you're ever looking for something, or if you're looking for, to go hunt or do something somewhere. You could always connect with these guys, and they can give you some tips and say, hey, they're not going to give you a GPS coordinate on the best spot to shoot an eider, but they can tell you where. Because listen, they're still waterfowl guys. Like, we don't give it all up so we get it like that. But we can at least get you the country.
Which airport to fly into? You'll get that.
That's where it ends.
That's where it ends. Yeah.
Listen, awesome stuff. Glad to talk to you guys. This is more than just a podcast and work. It's a bullshit session where we get to just talk and laugh and
yes, sir.
And then say, hey, we're we're all going to Canada next year, or we're going here, or we're going there. So I'm excited. We'll find something to do for sure. Juho's got to have a knee
Perfect.
surgery. He's got to get that done, and then he's off and running. So maybe Germany, maybe the EWA show in Germany will get together if everybody's there for sure.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I hope so. Hope
I
so.
love it. All right, guys. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate everybody for listening or watching it. And like I said, shout out to our distributors and everybody else that does business with Final Approach. If you want to check our stuff out, hit us up at fabrand.com. Go to the social pages, go to the YouTube to see other videos and stuff like that. And of course, thanks to everybody that helps us keep going. And that's Federal Ammunition and Weatherby. The guys at Rogers Sporting Goods, Loophole, and of course, Saskatchewan Goose Company and Tyler's, where these guys have been and I've been, and we're going to have a great time. So, guys, thanks again, once again, for the Final
Thanks,
Approach
Mario.
podcast. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, guys.